I get all kinds of crazy concepts pushed across my desk. Everyone's like, hey, check this out, check this out. And this one particularly caught my interest because it's a Sky Striker engine built in to ancient gears. Now you're probably like, oh no, why do I... OTKs. Like, literally, this is a very interesting concept. So, Mr. Landon sent this to me on Facebook. We were having a little bit of a discussion talking about ancient gears and the deck's OTK potential and, well, what the deck kind of needed to do to kind of get there. And this was the initial build that he sent me. He said that Sky Strikers actually go relatively amazing in this deck. Now, I strictly think that the only way to play this deck is go second, OTK your opponent, pressure them as you can. I mean, even if you want to make some tech choices and adjust the deck, one of the really cool things now is limited removals at 2. So if you need to push that little bit of extra damage somewhere, if you want to make a little interesting tech choice, just kind of adjust the deck a little bit, that's something you can do. Now, adding the Sky Striker engine into this gives you a little bit more oomph, as I like to say. Having another search engine in the deck is not particularly a bad thing. Having access to things like Widow Anchor, Jamming Waves, you know, Afterburners, for that going second push is not particularly a bad thing at all. You know, in the grand scheme of things, you still have to kind of go search for your combo pieces. Your deck does do some pretty interesting things in the grand scheme of Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, but you're still that OTK deck at the end of the day. What was the last time Ancient Gears actually had any sort of success? I think they had a top 16 somewhere along the way. Last 6 months, I know they had something where they did something successfully, and it was just the going second, you know, push your opponent up against the wall, shake the living shit out of them until, you know, they scoop. So he also wanted to know, he said, also the method of this deck is to go off with Sky Strikers, and you can make the big boys. Also, Search Wyvern with Gear Town Terrorism. If you have time, try it out and see what you actually think about the deck. Like I said, you know, search and synergies and things like that, you'd be surprised what you can do. And just even the cheesy OTKs that can catch your opponent with their pants down, literally, it's what Yu-Gi-Oh is all about. So, you know, keep that in mind as you embark on your journey and things. There are plenty of extra side slots too. If you want to, you know, tech this in down here, you know, don't feel bad about it. So, Ancient Gears. Let's talk about this, shall we? So the first one I'm going to be looking at is Ancient Gear Box. So if this card is added from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except by drawing it, you can add an Earth Machine-type monster with 500 attack and or defense from your deck to your hand, except for another copy of Box. And then you can only use this effect of Ancient Gear Box once per turn. So this does give you a means to search for the big boys. So, Ancient Gear Frame, discard this, or you can discard one card to add one Ancient Gear Golem, or spell and trap card that specifically lists Ancient Gear Golem and its text from your deck to your hand. Once per turn of this card attacks, your opponent gets jammed out of spell and traps, pretty much like all of them have this. If this face-up card in its owner possession leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, special summon up to 3 Ancient Gear Golem, and or Ancient Gear Golem Ultimate Pound from your hand, ignoring summoning conditions. I really hope your opponent doesn't out this with a card effect, because it's going to be really bad. Of course, 2 of the man himself, the Ancient Gear Golem, I remember, can't be special summoned, but this deck doesn't care. We get around that. And then in addition to, you get Trample, and your opponent can't respond with spells and traps. So it's pretty good. Then, of course, Ultimate Pound, same thing, cannot be special summoned. Gets Trample, and then up to twice per turn when this attacking card destroys opponent's monster. By battle, you can discard one machine monster. This card can attack again. And if this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, you can add a polymerization from your deck to your hand. If you do, you can add one other Ancient Gear monster from your deck to your hand. So, a little interesting tech room here. And then, of course, Triple of the Hunting Hound. Normal summon, ping your opponent for 600. Attacks, jam your opponent, and then once per turn, you can fusion summon Ancient Gear fusion monster using monsters from your hand and or field. I actually really like this card. The fact that it doesn't really do much on core normal summon is fine, but once it's out there, he's doing his job. And then we have 3 copies of Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon. So if this card that was tribute summoned by tributing an Ancient Gear monster attacks a defensive monster, you get Trample. And if you tribute with a gadget, it makes a second attack. Of course, your opponent can't respond with spells and traps or monster effects until the end of the damage step. And then at the end of the damage step, this card attack can destroy one spell and trap card on the field. This card's pretty good for a 3,000 body, actually. Like, actually really good. Now, we are playing triple copies of Ancient Gear Wyvern. Normal or special summon and Ancient Gear from your deck in your hand, except for Ancient Gear Wyvern. Also, you cannot set cards the turn you use this effect. We don't care about that. And then, of course, if this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate their effects until the end of the damage step. More of that jamming. I like that. Now, hand traps are a little bit sparse here. It's kind of up to you. This build's playing 2 copies of Ash Blossom and 2 copies of Ghost Ogre. Build your hand traps however you want. And then we have, of course, 1 copy of Gamma Seal, just to have a Kaiju to be able to out an opponent's field. And interesting to note, this deck is playing 1 copy of Ancient Gear Catapult. Excuse me, 3 copies. Whew. Almost missed the other one. So while you control monsters, target 1 face-up card you control, destroy it. You have to special summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring some conditions. So you can do this on the Gear Town. And then you can banish this card from a graveyard, target 1 face-up monster you control, destroy it. And if you special summon 1 Ancient Gear token, you can only use 1 Ancient Gear Catapult effect per turn and only once that turn. But we were always using this to destroy Gear Town. The deck does play 2 copies of Ancient Gear Fortress. So during the turn, they are normal or special summoned. Your opponent cannot target Ancient Gear monsters you control with effects. Also cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of Ancient Gear cards or effects. This card is destroyed in your spell and trap card zone. You can special summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from your hand or graveyard, ignoring summoning conditions. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for this turn except for Ancient Gears. This just lets you bring out from the hand. But the thing we care about is this does set that precedence to make sure that your opponent literally can't respond with anything that they want to do. Now, also 2 copies of Fusion. This basically just grants you the ability to fusion from your hand or field. If an Ancient Gear Golem or Ultimate Fusion Pound you control as Fusion Summon, you can also use monsters from your deck as material. So, being able to fuse some decks pretty good. Here's Gear Town. This was the one I was talking about earlier. When this card is destroyed into the graveyard, special summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So you do this with Catapult for the free value. This build is also playing 1 copy of Limiter Removal. Told you guys I kind of want to play 2 in this, just to be able to OTK a little bit faster. I don't think a lot of people understand, just like, you're going second deck, you still need to be able to cheese your opponent at times. Don't be afraid to do so. And then, of course, we are playing 1 copy of Monster Reborn and 1 copy of Afterburners. And then with the rest of the package down here, 1 Jamming Waves, 1 Hornet Drones, 1 Widow Anchor, triple Engage, 2 Trade-In, and 2 copies of Twin Twister. Now, the extra deck is pretty interesting for the most part. We have 1 Shizuku, 1 Kagari, 1 Hayate for the Sky Striker package. Saruja, Mrs. Radiant, 4 links. And then we're playing Googly Eyes Garbage Dragon. So it's 2 level 8 monsters. Once per turn, detach 1 material from this card. This card gains 1,000 attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. If this card be destroyed while it has materials, banish 1 Super Defense Robo from your hand. And then you detach. Yeah, we don't care about it. We just care that this is a big 8 or 4,000. Then, of course, 1 Gear Gigant for searching. Now, Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. This thing's fat. Attack, trample, attack, your opponent can't respond. And then if this card is destroyed, you can target 1 Ancient Gear monster in your graveyard, or Golem in your graveyard, and special summon, ignoring those summoning conditions. So his summoning conditions are a bit rough. I mean, 1 Golem plus 2 Ancient Gear monsters. Gear Giant, 4 Ancient Gear monsters. So it's got that fresh must-be fusion summon, can't be special summoned by other ways. It's unaffected by spells and traps. Your opponent's monsters cannot activate their effects during the battle phase. This card can attack all of your opponent's monsters once each, and of course, this bad boy has trample. I don't know what more you want in a card. This one's a little bit weaker. This is Megaton Golem. It's 3 Ancient Gear monsters. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spells and trap cards. If this card was used using 2 or more Ancient Gear Golem and or Ancient Gear Ultimate Pound as material, it can attack up to that many times each battle phase, and if this fusion summon card in its owner's possession leaves the field, you can switch summon 1 Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem from your extra deck, ignoring those summoning conditions. We just get to bring out this guy, like, for no reason. And then, of course, the big one, Howitzer, unaffected by other card effects. During your main phase, you can inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. And then if this card is destroyed by a battle card pick, especially 1 Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions. This card's pretty good, actually, for just kind of floating. Then we have side deck. You can kind of build this however you want. We have 2 Droll and Lockbird, another Turtle, 2 Ghost Bell, 1 Judgment, and 3 Strikes. Feel free to fill in, you know, just been testing more of the initial concept this week, and it's been very fun, actually. Like, not disappointed in this. So, thanks, Landon, for sending this in. I'm definitely not disappointed, and I definitely hope you guys aren't either. Hope you guys will get your feet a little bit wet with this deck. And well, guys, that's all I've got for this video. Peace out, guys. The ride never ends, guys. Make sure you enable those notifications to get the latest videos that are being posted on this channel. Make sure you guys check out VanCole40 for my Cardfight Vanguard channel. And join me and House of Champions on the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. We'll be interacting with our audiences. And please check out No Limit Gaming and LGTCG.com for the cheapest trading cards on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and please have a good day.